Caden Brown, Michael Pickins is your front row. Let's get this race started. The World Midget 30-lap Derby here at Lucasville Western Springs Speedway as we head around turn number 4. The drivers leave it late, but it looks like Caden Brown is going to get the jump, but we've got one slow starting further back, but the lights stay green and Caden Brown takes advantage and gets out to the early lead. Michael Pickins slots into second place, Mose in third, and here comes the man from the United States, high and wide, down at NZ Safety Blackwoods, turn number 4. Logan Seavey is on a mission as he's in a heated battle with his teammate Brad Mosen.
Yeah, great run there from Seavey off the top side in turn number 3 and 4, and it looks like the majority of the field has actually gone up there this time by Mosen, still committing to the low side as Caden Brown in control.
And Caden Brown just looks super confident out front, but Michael Pickins isn't letting him get too far away. And that's the tactics and the experience of the 10-time New Zealand Midget Car champion. Just sticking with him, waiting for the mistake, waiting for the tyre to go off, and playing the long game. 30 laps the distance here, and then it's Mosen, Seavey, and watch out, the slider from Buddy Kofoid almost collects Mosen in the process, and he drops back behind Logan Seavey. So Buddy Kofoid on a mission early.
Keep an eye out for a Michael Pickins slider down here into turn number 3, coming this time by Pickins to the inside. Slide job for the race lead. Caden Brown turns it down under, but he won't be able to get the run out of turn number 4, and Michael Pickins is going to take the lead of tonight's feature.
And Pickins just slams the nose, the United Truck Parts, Chems number 97, and unfortunately it gets through, does Michael Pickins. Mosen now right on the back of the number 97 as well, along with his teammate. So the front 5 have checked out once again, much like what we saw last weekend.
Yeah, and then a big gap back to Luke McClymont back there in about 6th position as Alec Inslee goes to work slightly further back. Single file around the top side as your top 5, and then a big gap back to about 6th position.
And once again, it just shows the class of our international drivers, along with New Zealand's best, Michael Pickins, Brad Mosen, in the thick of it as well. The Trans-Tasman trio out front in this one, but another slider from Buddy Kofoid now as we check out this battle with Ethan Mitchell trying to get up the inside of local driver Trent Way. So the international drivers still in the thick of it a little bit further back, and there's the front 5 checking out with this one. Almost 10 laps in the books already. Pickins now already with half a length at the straightaway ahead of Caden Brown before Mosen, Seavey and Buddy Kofoid, leading this one from Luke Brown.
Starting to work very close to lap traffic too. That should be a factor in the next kind of 5 or 6 laps, and then we'll see what these guys have to offer as Mosen and Seavey are starting to get closer to each other as the Greenway teammates.
That's it, and that battle outside the top 5 at this point in time is the battle of the young guns. Luke McClymont, Mitch Fabish, Ben Morrison and Alec Inslee. They're the young drivers that are certainly emerging out of the midget ranks at this point in time and doing a great job, as we see Ethan Mitchell just throwing sliders on Mitch Osborne a little bit further back, but wheels starting to fly from Logan Seavey. No doubt those drivers at the front busy on those internal adjustments within those race cars, trying to get as much drive as they possibly can as that fuel load starts to burn off.
12 laps completed. Pickens still under control. 1.4 second advantage over Caden Brown, who has a second himself over Brad Mosen, but Mosen is definitely closing that gap, and he's bringing Logan Seavey with him.
And all the drivers at the pointy end just shadowing that line of Michael Pickins, especially his teammate of Caden Brown running second. Virtually identical track position there, and probably only with another lap or 2 to go, Hayden, and he's going to be in lap traffic.
Most of those guys running the bottom in front of Pickins too, so he's going to have to look elsewhere down there in turn number 1 and 2. As we hear a car way off song down here into turn number 3. But on screen, Logan Seavey closing the distance on his teammate Brad Mosen. Opts out of the slider into 3, but Brad's going to get very tight out of turn 4.
And they're starting to see a little bit more moisture coming out of that racetrack down here at turns 3 and 4 as we're halfway, as we see the Greenway teammates in a heated battle of their own. And that's just allowing the 2 other teammates at the pointy end of Pickins and Caden Brown just to check out.
Yeah, Michael Pickins finally made his way up to the rear of the lap traffic as well, as he looks to the outside of Terence Durrell. That's going to be the first car. Looks to the inside, crossover out of turn number 2, and he's going to deal with him very quickly. And suddenly there's a car in between Michael Pickins and Caden Brown.
And that has just slowed up Pickins just enough to allow Caden Brown to get a little bit closer. But now there's a car between them. So Pickins now in the thick of it And let's wait and see how good the Australian is navigating his way through lap traffic at the bullring here at Luxor Western Springs Speedway with 12 laps to go.
Michael's still working closer and closer, but there is a car spun around, and it's Ben Morrison. Morrison is stopped on the bottom down there in turn number 1 and 2, and we're going to go yellow, and that's going to erase the advantage that Michael Pickins had over Caden Brown.
And both those drivers, Pickins and Caden Brown, virtually identical lap times on that previous lap, but as was Logan Seavey and Buddy Kofoid. So now this thing closes up. This is going to be thrown wide open. Fuel loads have burnt off, the edges come off the tyre, and let's wait and see who's got a little bit left up their sleeve to bring this race alive. So unsure what happened there with the number 97 Promo Lab machine of Ben Morrison, but unfortunately for our 50-50, that is unfortunately not going to be taken tonight, as we just start to see that curb starting to build up there in the middle of turn 1 and 2. And that was it. Sorry, that was for the sprint cars. That was for SVG. I got all excited about her wearing the Ben Morrison shirt. So Morrison gets pushed off. He'll go rear of field in this one. And Caden Brown on the inside. Pickins opting for the outside of the front row. So no doubt Caden Brown with that little bit of experience early on in that heat race with himself and Jaden Worthington, where they were moving each other up the racetrack. So the mind games continue, as already Caden Brown has pushed Michael Pickins a little bit up the racetrack. As the lights are out, Caden Brown, Michael Pickins on the restart. 13 laps the distance in the International Midget 30-lap Derby. Pickins gets off to the early jump. Caden Brown slipping in to that second spot, and watch out, here comes the attack from Buddy Kofoid, running in the 5th position at this point in time. Then it's the Greenway teammates trying to joist and battle. Caden Brown trying to defend from those 2 Greenway cars now as Seavey gets up the inside of Mosen, and it's action aplenty with 12 to go.
Ella Kinsley to the inside of Buddy Kofoid there as well, as he's going to take 5th position away from Kofoid, and Kofoid fighting for his life to hold on to 6th from Luke McClymont.
And the absolute attack out of nowhere from the Yale number 71 finds himself inside the top 5 in the mix with the best in the business, and always looking like he's on a charge and on a mission in the late stages of the 30.
Seavey has made his way into the 3rd position over Mosen here as well, and he's working to the inside of Caden Brown out of turn number 4. He's not going to get it done this time by, but he will continue working there as Brown gets tight out of turn number 2.
And it just looks like Buddy Kofoid has just gassed his tyres and has nothing left now, as Mosen now gets up the inside, and we've got one up and over, and we're going to have to wait and see. It looks like Peter Honeybell potentially. No, he's still in this one. So we're going to have to wait and see. We can't quite see from it's Morgan McHugh in the number 24. So unfortunate to see Morgan up and over, and it looks like that's actually flat in the right rear. So that'll be the end of Morgan's run here in the Jack Daniels Midget Night 30-lap Derby.
Quickest on track last time by was Logan Seavey as well, as he started to close the gap on Caden Brown real rapidly, just running slightly lower out of turn number 4 than both Michael Pickins and Caden Brown. So we've got 10 laps to go in this one, and there's a hell of a finish on the way.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And Pickins just definitely asserting his dominance there on that restart. But Caden Brown just didn't look like he had what the others did on that restart. But I tell you what, Alec Kinsley is coming for him. And here's the wheel-to-wheel battle here with Seavey and Caden Brown. As we say, it just looked like Seavey just had that edge. And it was about this point that the yellows came out and Seavey just straightened up that race car. And there it is. There's the yellow lights there. So Seavey is coming as we see some fluids leaking out of the Morgan McHugh machine. So let's wait and see. We called it early when we were talking about Seavey and how he tends to race in the United States and playing the long game. And this is definitely what we're seeing here, Hayden.
Yeah, 10 to go as well. It's right in his hands. He's been able to see the track develop and those drivers adapt to the racetrack around him, and he's been the best out of turn number 2 for sure.
So it looks like we're having a word come through. Ethan Mitchell on the infield with that torn left rear tyre. So unfortunate there for the 19 USA. It'll be interesting to get a look on that tyre at the end of this one. Maybe Graham Standring might be able to see a little bit more if we go to yellow a little bit later. So we'll wait and see later if Graham manages to get any insight. But still a little bit of insight going on here down at Midas turn number 2 where that oil went down. And, the Western Springs crew just getting the drivers to drive through that, absorbing the moisture, and we'll be back racing very shortly. Lights are out on the restart. 10 laps the distance to go. Pickins goes early. Can Caden Brown go with him? Logan Seavey was the hard charger on the last restart. Let's wait and see what the Americans got as he slips into the 4th position. Alec Inslee losing out on that restart, just dropping back a couple of spots there, but Pickins gets on it early and already stretches a couple of car lengths ahead of his teammate, Caden Brown.
Yeah, McClimb onto the inside of Seavey out of turn number 4 as well, but he's not going to be able to get that done as Seavey takes the lane away from him into turn number 1. Seavey's teammate, Brad Mosen, has really ruined his run with only 10 to go in this one, as we're inside the top 10, as Mosen looks to the inside of Caden Brown this time out of turn 4.
That's it, and it's certainly taken the wind out of Seavey's sails there, and Mosen trying to throw everything at it, using his local track knowledge to his advantage, trying to get up the inside of the United Truck Parts. Number 97, as the laps tick down, there's only going to be 7 to go for our leader in the CRC, number 54, Pickins, leading this one from Caden Brown. Then it's back to the 2 Greenway cars. And then it's Luke McClimb on Alec Inslee, and bring in Ryan Baker into the mix for this one.
Pickins still one of the only cars committing to the top side of the racetrack down here in turn number 3 and 4, and it's not hurting his pace, but he's definitely not getting away from Caden Brown the way he was at the start of this one.
No, Caden Brown definitely has more pace in this one here, and starting to get a little bit closer to Pickins now, so let's wait and see in the closing stages. Has Caden Brown got anything for Pickins? It looks like that he might have something to swing at Pickins in the dying stages.
Inside the final 5 laps here as well. Perfect opportunity for Caden Brown to strike as he's getting very close down here into turn number 3. Michael still just carrying the momentum out of turn 4 and continues that lead of 0.4.
And if anything, the only variance for those 2 drivers is Caden Brown down at turn number 3 and 4. Just looks to be a little bit faster than Michael Pickins, but there is only 3 more laps left to run for MP.
Mosen and Seavey continuing to run that battle there as Mosen's got good control of 3rd position, but not getting away from Logan Seavey. And it does look like Caden gets really close down here into turn 3, but Pickens just carries the momentum out of 4 with just 2 laps to go. This could go either way.
Yeah, that's it, but the laps are counting down, and Caden Brown may not have anything left up his sleeve. But as you say, Hayden, the track position just goes the advantage of Caden Brown as he squeaks around on the infield, but there's a run up the inside from Caden Brown with only 3/4 of a lap left to run. Has the Australian got anything for Michael Pickins? We're about to find out. Pickins goes defensive down on the pole line, doesn't leave the door open for Caden Brown, and the 30 lap Midget Derby goes to Michael Pickins. What a drive from your 10-time New Zealand Midget car champion. Pickins taking the win from Caden Brown in 2nd. 3rd place going to your 1NZ, Brad Mosen. 4th going to Seavey. And Luke McClimb out from Mount Maunganui coming home in 5th. There it is, your results on screen. MP Michael Pickins taking the victory from Caden Brown. Brad Mosen in third, CV fourth, Luke McClymont fifth, and driver of the race coming from the back to the front, Brock Maskovich in eighth, and Buddy Kofoid slipping back as far as 10th. So not the run he was looking for, but ladies and gentlemen, this man on screen, Michael Pickins, with the driver of the race, bringing home victory for the 30-lapper, and he heads down to the podium with Graham Standring. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Your winner of the World 30-lap Midget Derby, Michael Pickins.
One sec, someone else. Good job, Michael. Well, that was well done, like led from start to finish, but track got a bit tricky at times.
Yeah, we got real tight on the right rear for some reason, and I just couldn't run into turn 3 like I could earlier. We were really good, but just had to cheat it on entry and not get myself tight. You don't know how hard to push when you're leading, but obviously did enough. So the car was really good. Thank you to all the guys. A lot of work running 2 cars, so appreciate their support.
Yeah, the United Truck Parts car never gave up chasing you. I imagine you could almost see him on the second to last lap. That's perhaps why you went to the bottom the last lap?
Yeah, I saw his right front coming off a 4, so I just protected the bottom on the final lap, and yeah, I knew he was going to try something maybe on that last lap, so I just protected the bottom and protected it.
Yeah, and the cars look the best it's looked so far this season, all night so far, so testament to the crew.
It really is, and thank you to Jackie and Rowan Geeko on our Toyota, CRC, obviously our major sponsors, Justin Inslee, the crew chief, he builds the cars, and all my guys, you know, they work their butts off and need to get them a win.
Okay, well, you're halfway there. So you've got another, 25 or 30 laps to go. So good luck with that, and well done. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. World 30-lap Derby winner, Michael Pickins.
Thank you, appreciate it.
I called it that you were going to get on the podium. Well done. Look, you never let go. You chased and chased and chased, but not quite the second to last lap. Looked like you had a chance.
Yeah, bit bittersweet to be honest. Obviously, super pumped to be able to run with the big boys here. You come to New Zealand, and there's no slouches here, so to be able to run up the front, a real testament to this team, and just so close. When I was here before COVID, I think we ran 2 or 3 thirds here, and got that sniff, but then to be that close, and I knew Mike was going to go to the bottom in 3 and 4. I just couldn't quite get enough speed to get to him into 1 to not allow him to go to the bottom. But hats off to Michael and his boys, and testament to Brian and Annette Theobald from United Truck Parts for bringing me out, just a not so young anymore Aussie kid, to come out here and be able to run the front. Shows how good this outfit is, and Sean Inslee and the Spanners, Dad, Brad, Ronnie, Anton, we've got such a good team in the pits, and then all the sponsors as well, Power Up Lubricants, United Truck Parts, Chem Z, King Chassis, Filter Pro, my sponsors back home for allowing us to get there. Got my mum and sister here, which is really cool, and got all the Insleys as well. I think young Brooklyn might be up on the hill. I think it'd be cool if I could shout her out as well. Hopefully she can hear me and she's not asleep. But yeah, bring on Bay Park in 2 days.
Okay, yeah, look, fantastic job, ladies and gentlemen. Second place, all the way from Sydney, Australia, Melbourne, Australia, Sydney, Australia, Caden Brown.
Awesome, thank you.
And finally, the Kiwi at the other end of the sandwich. Man, that was quite a race. You were with Logan Seavey dicing it out there for quite some time.
Yeah, it was a I guess you could call it a fun race. I mean, for a third place, watching the front two, it was fun to watch at least. But yeah, we just need to find a little bit of speed. When the track dries out, I don't know what it is. I mean, we just found potential issue with our left rear shock, so hopefully there's something wrong with it. And we've got a little bit more pace because these guys are a little quicker tonight. So well done to them. Thanks to all the crowd for coming out tonight. It's great to see you all here and supporting Western Springs, and looking forward to the next couple of nights.
Yeah, no one realises the importance of shock absorbers over the last few years, how the development's been and how a crucial part of the setup they are. They're the last part of like the icing on the cake, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it changes everything, and when you're racing in a field that's as competitive as this, you need like everything you can get, and it comes down to like, you know, a couple of adjustments here or there, and you know, we're playing with them throughout the whole race. I was playing with the shocks the entire way and just trying things, and you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and you know, unfortunately I couldn't figure out what was going to work, but you know, we're lucky to get it at home in third.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the Kiwi on third place, New Zealand #1, Brad Mosen.
Thanks everyone.